Hello Aqua friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and we are going to paint this beautiful winter scene. We're going to start off by wetting our paper really well. The more saturated our paper is, the longer we'll have time to put in our colors. So I'm establishing my horizon line with some of the lightest colors, which is the orange that I'm using. And I'm using an ultramarine for the sky. And I'm painting, but I'm also leaving some white areas to suggest some clouds. And to help these colors mingle a bit, you can tilt your paper. Gravity helps. And I'm going in and painting the snow area. Everything is still pretty wet, so I'm adding in my purple for the shadows of the trees and the snow. At this point, you can increase the saturation of your colors because your paper is still wet and it will still spread. So I'm adding that sun-kissed look to parts of the snow. And if it's not spreading enough for you, a tip for you is to take a dry brush, a fluffy brush. You could use a fan brush, works really well too. And just go ahead and lightly stroke that area. Now I'm using a calligraphy brush, and if you don't have a calligraphy brush, a round brush would work just as well. And I'm loosely painting in the shapes of some distant trees. If you want to learn how to paint landscapes like this, then subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of detailed tutorials that you can learn from. So I used two different reference photos for this inspiration, and I'm sort of combining them into my own composition. The calligraphy brushes have a very fine tip, so you can get in some very detailed branches. They're also very inexpensive. So you want to make sure that you're painting in your trees different heights as well for some interest. Also, as your paper is drying, make sure that the mixture that you're using to paint your trees, that they sort of match the moisture that's on the paper. What I mean by that is you need a thicker mixture of paint and not as watery, because you will make a bloom, unless you want to make a bloom, of course. But in this instance, I didn't want any blooms, and so I'm increasing the thickness of my paint as my paper is drying. So we're going to let that whole thing dry now. And our second layer is basically going to be that main pretty tree that is around that sunset. So at this point, we're working wet on dry. And I'm starting off with some of the tree being that sun-kissed orange color. And then I'm coming in with my purple blue color to make that main tree. I'm using a round 8 Black Silver Series brush by Princeton. And I'm just varying the amounts of water and pigment as I'm making this tree. Now, while everything is still wet, I'm taking a chiseled brush and I'm pulling up the paint so that you can see the sun rays. Could increase that orange vibrancy if you want. I'm adding a little bit more orange in there. And in some of those negative space areas where there's no paint, I'm adding more orange for that sun-kissed backlight effect. Just hints of orange here and there. I didn't want it too overpowering. Now I'm going to come in with some indigo and paint in the underside of the tree. So basically the purple color is the snow covering the tree, and it's like you're negative painting in the branches that are showing through. So really that is about it. It's just a very soft, pretty painting. Let me know if you're going to give it a try, and I'll see you guys next week.